It's such a young nation. There is room for growth, there is room for opportunity, and it's up to you to know what you want and going for it. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see, there's a little bit difference in the background, and the reason being is because I decided to make a chit chat video with you guys. So basically today's video I am going to talk about, guess what, my experience living in Juba for 2 years. And boy oh boy, do I have a lot to say about Juba, South Sudan. So let me begin by, of course, introducing myself. If you are new here, my name is Agao Akal. I post motivational videos or self-development videos every Monday, and I also post beauty lifestyle videos on Saturdays. And this is why I'm posting this video on Saturday, because it's about lifestyle. It's about Juba, South Sudan. So if you don't know me, let me just give you a little bit of background about myself. So I am a South Sudanese. When you talk about South Sudan, that is a country in Africa. It's the youngest nation in the world. So we got our independence in 2011. Before that, South Sudan was at war with Sudan, North Sudan. But then after that, there was a peace agreement and South Sudan got its independence. So I first went to my home country in the year 2009. That was the time when the country was developing and it was transitioning, so I had a very good experience. The second time I went there was in 2017, and I really had a good time, and every year after that I would continue going. Before I get into talking about all this, let me just ask you a very important question. Have you subscribed? If not, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month, so I know that you can help me to achieve my goal by hitting that subscribe button and also turning on the notification bell to receive a notification every time I upload a new video. For the OGs, thank you for tuning in yet again for another video with Agao Akal, and let's just begin. The capital city of South Sudan is Juba. So if you hear about Juba or South Sudan in general in the news, it's always in a negative way, it's always in a negative light. And the truth is that South Sudan, the life in South Sudan is different from what you see on TV. I say that because I have lived in South Sudan. I have enjoyed the fruits and just the feeling of going home. So immediately when you go to South Sudan, you just feel like, oh, I'm home. For all the South Sudanese who are abroad and are thinking of going back to South Sudan, I urge you, please take the time to go visit home, because east or west, home is best. And I promise you, it is worth your time. It is worth going back home and just seeing how South Sudan is. So let's just talk about the things that we do in South Sudan. I wrote a few points, and I am going to be reading the points off my phone so that I make sure I don't forget to mention anything. Let me start by saying South Sudan is, for all the South Sudanese who are abroad and are thinking of going back to South Sudan, I urge you, please take the time to go visit home, because east or west, home is best. And I promise you, it is worth your time. It is worth going back home and just seeing how South Sudan is. So let's just talk about the things that we do in South Sudan. I wrote a few points, and I am going to be reading the points off my phone so that I make sure I don't forget to mention anything. Let me start by saying South Sudan is safe. My experience in South Sudan for 2 years, I kid you not, was very peaceful. I never had any incident. So I would move at night. There was a curfew for the expatriates, but then if you are a South Sudanese, then the curfew was not an issue. The reason why they would put a curfew is just to ensure that the expatriates are safe. But if you're home, trust me, you're home. There's no issue with moving around at night. Of course, there is the taftish. They call it the taftish. The taftish is literally the checkpoints. That is, there are soldiers who are put on the way to just check who is moving around at night, whether the people moving at night are carrying weapons, just to ensure that there is safety around the city. And I promise you, if you want to get through a taftish, this is my advice: be humble. These people will humble you. They don't care whether you are a minister, they don't care whether you are a regular person. They're just doing their jobs. And you know they're soldiers. When you approach a checkpoint, please talk kindly, be gentle, don't be rude, because they don't appreciate that. So usually every time when I would go home, I would actually pass by Taftish every single day, and I would be happy to see these people because I know that they're doing their work. Sometimes it was a little bit scary because I feel like it was at 2 a.m. and the reason why I'm saying it's scary because it's, you know, I'm a girl, so at that time it was not the ideal time, but I promise you when I was moving around at night it was not an issue. So now that we've gotten the safety thing out of the way, let us talk about the culture. So as you know that most of the South Sudanese are pastoralists and we have a lot of cows. If you have been in Juba and you have not seen not even a single cow, not a single goat, nothing, then I don't know what country you have been to, because in South Sudan there are a lot of cows, a lot of goats, a lot of just livestock in general, and that is the lifestyle because it's part of our culture. If you're not aware, then I want you to know that when a girl is getting married in South Sudan, of course they have to pay dowry, and for the dowry payment is cows and goats. It depends with where the girl is from, but most of the families they request for cows, and that's why there's a lot of cows, because there's a lot of marriages. So marriages is a thing as well in South Sudan. Every Saturday, every Friday, I promise, if you don't have anything to do, go to Freedom Hall. That is where all the weddings are in. You will have a good time. You will be bored sometimes because some of the weddings it's just about speeches, and some weddings are actually fun. So that is one thing about South Sudan, is that there is no weekend that can go by without a single wedding. I haven't attended much weddings, and it's because it's just not my thing. But if you want to meet people, if you want to just put yourself out there, then go to one of the weddings in South Sudan, and maybe you might meet your partner, maybe you might meet a friend, maybe you might meet a long lost relative. That is somehow like a social gathering. Let us talk about the cultural dances. Lord, in my language, that's what they call it. So Lord is basically, most of the time it's in a place called Sharikat. Sharikat is also in Juba, and most of the dances, it's cultural dances where young people get to interact. The reason why people do that sometimes is to find a partner, and these dances are so rhythmic. Am I saying rhythmic? They move in rhythm. It's a shame I don't know how to dance, but maybe I can try. I'm not that good, but that is always a wonderful display. So it's usually in a place called Sharikat. I don't know about other places, but from my experience I know that in Sharikat that is where people go for cultural dances, and it's just such a wonderful experience. If you want to know about the rich culture of South Sudan, then you cannot go there without experiencing the cultural dances, seeing how these people move, seeing how they interact. And actually this is a way of courtship. So girls, young girls and young men who are looking for wives, who are looking for husbands, they actually go for these Lord, that is the cultural dances. Most of them find their partners over there. So that is another thing that you would love to check out in Juba. I worked there for 2 years, and during my 2 years I had a wonderful time. The first company that I worked for had a very good standard, and it set a foundation and a tone to my work experience. It set a tone to my professionalism. So if you're thinking of going to work in Juba, Juba is actually the place to go. You have a lot of potential. It's such a young nation. There is room for growth, there is room for opportunity, and it's up to you to know what you want and going for it. You meet different people. There's a lot of international NGOs, there's a lot of international companies, oil companies. After I worked for an international company, I also decided to start my own business, and that is basically selling flowers. I had an issue finding fresh flowers in Juba, South Sudan. So I just had a business idea. I thought, why don't I bring some fresh flowers and see how it's going to be received? And it was overwhelming because I could not believe that so many people really wanted to have fresh flowers, but they couldn't find anywhere. So it was a very good business idea, and when I implemented it, I was happy with the results and my business flourished. So if you're also thinking of starting a business in South Sudan, it's also a good opportunity. There's obviously rules and regulations and documentations, and there's the formal process of starting a business, registering a company, which is just like any other country in the world. So if you're thinking of that, you should go for it. Don't stop yourself. South Sudan is the place to be, and you have so much opportunity to grow. You have so much opportunity to develop. So let us talk about what I find exciting, which is the places to hang out. So if you have watched my video, I'll link it somewhere up here. That is the time I went to Juba, South Sudan in December. I had such a wonderful time. I enjoyed being with my family, and part of the video I spoke about Acacia. So if you are thinking of going to Acacia, that is like a campy vibe. It's usually like a weekend place where you just go by the pool, you hang out with your friends, you have a good time. It's so green, it's beautiful. You have to check it out. If you are in Juba, South Sudan and you haven't gone to Acacia, like, what are you waiting for? That is the place to be in. Apart from Acacia, let's talk about Afex. Afex River Camp. A lot of people love to go to Afex because some people, they smoke shisha there, some people go for a drink, some people just like the scenery, which is by the riverside. That is the River Nile, and it's such a wonderful ambience. I love it. Every time I go to Afex, I just have such a good time with my friends, with my family. And if you want to check it out, please go there. And at the same time, there is this place called Notos. Notos is it's somehow like a cafe stroke restaurant, which has a very contemporary vibe. It's very chill, very nice music, classical music, and the classical music is in the background. The good thing about Notos is that you can find internet in Notos. You get good internet. So at the time when I was in Juba, I used to pay 300 pounds, and then it was added to 500 pounds, and then now I hear it's 800 pounds, but the prices fluctuate. But it was actually a good time. I would go there for an hour, I'd use the internet, I'd respond to my emails, I would go on social media, download the documents that I needed. And the reason being is because I do not have Wi-Fi at home. Most of the people in South Sudan do not have Wi-Fi in their houses, and it's simply because it is just too expensive. I think it costs like $300, $400, which nobody need to pay that bill for. So people prefer to go to restaurants, to cafe, to hotels to just get their work done. And of course, there is internet in the office. There is the mobile internet, which you can use for your mobile, but you know, if you have some work to do, some personal work to do, it's always good to just go to a cafe, to have a nice coffee, to have your juice, and there's nice music, and just set the ambience and the tone, and you know, enjoy South Sudan, enjoy the culture, enjoy the people. So that's what I loved about going to Notos. In the evening, they extend to like midnight, till 1, 2. If you want to have a party there, like a personal or private party, you can go to Notos. If you need luxury, yes, you guessed it, Pyramid Continental Hotel. I love Pyramid. That was the place I would go for coffee with my partner and my friends and my loved ones, and it was just good. I loved it. I love the fact that the pool was amazing, the gym was amazing, the spa was amazing. I also enjoyed their food. They had very nice buffet, they had very fast internet, they had elite people over there. So if you're looking to interact or have business interactions with people there, that's where you'll find the ministers, the vice president. Sometime you will find the business people, and it's just such a wonderful ambience. It's such a wonderful vibe. After I left South Sudan, there was that somehow like a patio where people just sit outside, they smoke shisha, which people enjoy and have a good time. There's also a place for sports, so that is a place that you can check out. Let me see if there's anything else I've left out. So that is it for this video. If you like this video, give it a really big thumbs up, comment down below, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on your notification bell to receive a notification every time I upload a new video. So that is it about South Sudan. If you want to know more about South Sudan, then comment down below. Tell me if you've been there, tell me how you like the place, tell me your experience in South Sudan, because I would love to hear back from you. So take care of yourself, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.